And so then all of a sudden, maybe you start selling it before it loses all of its value. Whether that's what's going on, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me, because the website that the Kathy Key takes you to has a lengthy explanation of deep fakes. I know I saw one the other day with Queen Elizabeth. It was a Christmas message. And let me tell you, you could sit there and watch it, and you think, well, the she's on top of her game. That's her. And then all of a sudden she gets up and dances. And then at the end, the camera shows you that it was a lady with short black hair, a young woman, that was creating the image for the deep fake.
Oh.
So I tell you now, when people look over and say, well, Joe Biden gave one of the finest speeches when he accepted the nomination of the Democrats, I watched it. I said, man, this guy, it's unbelievable. He used to be where he couldn't make 3 sentences and made sense. And he was almost perfect. Was that a deep fake?
I feel like I'm
body double.
I feel like
I don't know, but I think we got to find out, because let me tell you, go back and watch the movie from some time ago, I think 1996 or 7, called Wag the Dog, where they created a war to try to get a candidate out of trouble because of sexual accusations. Let me tell you, the media can do a lot more now than it could do 25 years ago. I think the American public is watching a false reality. I think a lot of what we're seeing that looks real is fake. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I tell you, I think we've got to find out. We need to search for the truth. I try to search for the truth, and if I get what I believe is truth, I'm willing to speak it. If we'd all speak truth and be fearless, we could get to the bottom of some of these things that are so wrong and corrupt in our country, and we could get back to having a good and decent and honest society. Everybody ought to want that.
Lynn, I'm going to put an example.
People that profit off it being illegal and corrupt, they don't want it.
Lynn, I'm going to put a link out there for the listeners out there. This is a show called the Monkey Works show, Monkey Works. And you were talking about Wag the Dog. And if everybody goes to Monkey Works and looks for I'll tell you what, if you're listening right now, just fire me off a text and I'll send this to you. Just text me at 918-851-6920, 918-851-6920. And I will share a deep fake that was pulled from John McCain's laptop, where you can see what many people thought was a beheading, and you can see the Hollywood studio where the fake beheading was taped, and it looks real, and everyone believed it's real. And I'll send that's just one example of a deep fake that I can share for everybody. Or if you're listening out there, you can go to YouTube and look for the Monkey Works channel. Monkey, like the word monkey, and then Works, W-E-R-X, the Monkey Works channel. You can go there and look for the video, What is Real? And at the 3:12 mark, you can watch the video. And it's mind-blowing. Now, James, you are an attorney from Manhattan.
That's right, yeah.
And I wanted to bring you on the show so you could ask Lynn any questions that you have on behalf of maybe the skeptical American, the frustrated American, the great Americans out there, because you're an attorney, and you see what Lynn's doing. You see what's going on. What questions would you have for Lynn?
I do. Hi, Lynn. We've spoken before, and nice to speak to you again. I want to bring us back to what Clay opened up with, and sort of the defamation concept and the definition of it and the defenses to it. Just so you know, I represented an investor who invested in a company one time, and there were claims that the company was out of money, that all the money was gone. So I followed the money, and I came across another entity and some more people. So I threw a shot out across the bow, and I sent a demand letter. And what happened was, as a result of that demand letter, there was a very aggressive law firm on the other side, and they sued me personally for defamation for the statements that I made in the letter. It was a brilliant legal move, and it was a bunch of nonsense. I eventually got the case dismissed as against me. And now, as this sort of defamation concept relates to, Sidney Powell and Dominion, I have a super finite, very acute question here, because it's a concern that, or at least something that I run into as a litigator as well. When we go through the discovery process, people play games with discovery. So do you think, what are you expecting that Dominion is going to do when you say, oh, give us this? Do you think that they're just going to walk up to you and hand exactly what you need on a silver platter? And if not, how are you going to get it?
Well, the answer is they're not going to hand you anything on a silver platter. They're going to try to make it as expensive and time-consuming and trouble as they can before they'll tell you the truth. The danger we have right now in our system of justice is we got a lot of corruption in our judiciary. So now you've gotten to the point where you can't count on judges to follow the rule of law. We're going to find out from the Supreme Court pretty soon whether they're going to follow the rule of law on the elections challenged in several states that violate black-letter law. So I don't believe, for example, that Dominion, who has fought tooth and nail to prevent anyone from going in and auditing their machines, I don't believe they're going to roll over and give you any information, because the information they give you is going to indict them.
Yeah.
They're going to be guilty. So they're going to fight it, or they'll go out and they'll say, well, mission accomplished, we got the headline, and they'll make some excuse to dismiss the case against Sydney. I hope Sydney follows the recommendation and files a Rule 11 action, because the lawsuit against Sydney cannot be, under the clear evidence, cannot be reasonable and in good faith.
So you think that
they're using the legal system to accomplish a motive that an objective the legal system's not designed to accomplish. Look at what they did to you. By doing what they did to you, makes you a little more hesitant in terms of what you say in the future. Makes you a little more hesitant to get involved in that type of a case. That's not what the legal system was designed to do. It was there to accomplish justice, not to be misused to accomplish a miscarriage of justice. People should be allowed to speak. You should have been allowed to speak out when you spoke. And then they tried to intimidate you with a lawsuit, make it work. People in America goes, well, I don't want to say anything about Dominion because I don't want to be sued. I've only got $10,000 in my 401k. So they'll get you quiet, won't they? They're trying to intimidate you.
Yeah,
That's not the way the system of justice is supposed to work.
James, you have a follow-up question.
I did, and for the non-lawyers out there, can we just get into a little bit more detail about the Rule 11 thing that you had mentioned? I know that's, you're going to throw a shot across the bow and send a Rule 11 letter to their attorneys, right? Isn't that what you're going to do? Isn't that what the concept of the Rule 11 is? Was you're going to say, hey, listen, you have no basis for filing this lawsuit. I'll give you.
Wasn't filed in good faith.
Right. And then
yes, that's Rule 11.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is I took a look at the motion that was filed to revoke your pro hoc vicee admission into the Eastern District of New York, and I just want to read the opening statement, which I think is absolutely insane based on knowing you after these fireside chats. And it says Mr. Wood's pro hoc vicee admission should be revoked for 4 reasons. First, the oath of admission to practice in any federal court requires each attorney to pledge that he quote will conduct himself uprightly and according to law, and that he will support the Constitution of the United States, close quote. When I saw that, I'm like, don't they know who Mr. Wood is? I mean, I don't know of anybody who loves the Constitution and our freedom, and particularly the First Amendment, more than you do. And I briefly took a look at your response, and the memorandum of law. I was doing it while we were on the podcast here and recording this, so I might have missed something. But you didn't even really seem to address that notion, and you just really went to what I thought were the heart of the issues. First off, is that an accurate reading of your response? And second, do you have a response to that ridiculous first statement? And the 3 other reasons seem to be just as ridiculous, asinine, and without basis. But we don't need to go through and read the whole motion now.
Well, let me say this. I can't remember exactly the first sentence, but I'm sure you quoted it correctly. I have no reason to doubt you. Well, the first sentence is true. I spent 43 years fighting for the Constitution. I love the rule of law. So I've adhered to my standards of practice as a professional. What you'll find in that case is that my client, Rosalind La Liberté, gave an affidavit. She does not want to have them dictate to her who can represent her. She has a Sixth Amendment right to the counsel of her choice. They're trying to take away the lawyer that she wants. She stands behind them. And then you look at my co-counsel, a fine man in New York, David Alisoff. I've worked with him in the past. He knows the standards I adhere to. I know the standards he adheres to. He's a liberal. He'd probably be I don't ask him who he voted for, but I don't think he and I share the same political beliefs. But he stands by me. He didn't run off and abandon me. because he knows that lawsuits and practice of law is not partisan. He knows the fundamental way that we are supposed to interact as a society. We can have differences of views. That doesn't mean we attack each other. We have the right to have different opinions. That doesn't give one side the right to falsely attack another. So he stands by me. In New York, they've got to show that I violated a rule in New York that would have me, in effect, lose my right of my law license in New York. The standard's pretty clear. I haven't done that. I hope that the magistrate judge will apply the rule of law. She sent out 3 cases when she set it down for briefing, and those cases, I think, needed to be read. And if they're read correctly, it would suggest that this motion to revoke my pro hoc visa isn't worth the paper it's written on. They filed a motion against me. The city didn't file it against me. The city of Detroit intervened in the Michigan case filed by lawyers working with Sydney, where my name appeared on it, but I was not admitted to practice. I didn't seek to be admitted to practice. Sydney listed me only because down the road she might need a trial lawyer, and I told her I would help her. So then the case gets dismissed, I believe, by a partisan judge. The city of Detroit intervened solely to sanction the lawyers. They weren't even a defendant. And they make some ridiculous statement, false, that Sidney Powell and I have blood on our hands trying to blame us for what may have been a death that occurred in Washington, D.C. It was propaganda to get a headline. They didn't serve me with that motion. I wasn't subject to the Michigan rules of conduct. I never been admitted there, didn't seek to be admitted there. But it makes for a good headline, and I'm sure it was part of what they used, Joy Reid's lawyers used in New York. If you look at the complaint filed by the Georgia State Bar against me, it has nothing to do with anything that I've done wrong in connection with the representation of a client. It's a bunch of propaganda. So they're looking for a headline. They're getting it. Now people are writing, Woods now subject to having his bar license revoked in disciplinary action. It's a false action based on falsehoods.
Lynn,
it's propaganda.
A lot of our listeners out there side with you. They agree with you. They say, finally, somebody's speaking the truth. People just keep telling me, finally, he's speaking the truth. People look you up and they say, finally, somebody's speaking the truth. And they always say, what can I do to help? Clay, what can I do to help? Well, I've been asking you, and you have been, and I'm just going to say a little bit difficult about this. You have been reluctant to allow me to, you said, Clay, I'm not trying to, encourage people to donate to me. That's not what this is about. But I'm just saying, as an American, as a father of 5 kids, as a guy who respects what you're doing, if people want to support you, because you're going up against multi-million-dollar, in the case of, helping Sidney Powell now with Smartmatic and Dominion, we're talking about, $100 million plus companies, $1 billion plus lawsuits. If people want to donate to support you and to help you financially, I mean, most of our Fireside chats have over 500,000 downloads. So if everybody just went in $10, I mean, that would really help you. If people want to donate, are you going to allow that, or is there a place where people can do that there, Lynn?
Well, I am going to allow it, and I did ask on my Telegram account that people go to fightback.law and consider making a donation. Here's what I did. I founded Fightback back in the middle of the summer. It's a Texas 501c4. I did it because I saw what I thought was a color revolution unfolding in our country that was threatening and going to threaten our constitutional rights. Well, boy, I was right about that one.
Yep.
Look at what's happening. And I knew that in the future there would needed to be an organization that would try to make sure that it never happened again, that would advocate for our Constitution. Well, right after I founded it, I was asked to help Kyle Rittenhouse, and I did. Through the foundation, we raised a lot of money to make his bail and to help pay some of his fees. Now, I'm out of that matter because another lawyer's taken over, and they're handling that separate from me. But Fight Back helped him. We made a contribution to Walk Away Foundation. We made a contribution to Carter Page. I haven't taken a dime from Fight Back except to reimburse me for administrative costs incurred, IT experts, and security. because I got a lot of people that would like to harm me. I know that. It's because of my efforts for Fight Back. Then we got involved in election fraud. Now, instead of finding myself trying to help others, the truth is I need help financially. I've done well. I'm not broke, but I don't have the resources to go up against the people that are coming after me. It could cost me millions of dollars. I don't have it. So I did say that if you wanted to fight for me and help me, to make a donation. I don't like to ask people for money. I'd rather ask you for money to help someone else than to ever ask for you to do it to help me. But the candid truth is I need your help. If you support what I stand for, if you support the Constitution, if you want lawyers to practice law aggressively but yet within the rule of law to defend people and advocate for people, help me. Because if they get me, they take me out, it's going to be a slippery slope. They're going to take out everybody after me. Today they're coming for me. Tomorrow they're going to come from you. So we've got to take a stand. We've got to draw a line and say, we're going to fight back. We're not going to let you do this. Because if you do it to Lynn Wood, you can do it to many others. So I have asked for people to help me.
Okay.
And I've gotten a good response. I don't know what it'll cost, but I know this. If it costs $5 million, I believe the people will help me get it. If it costs $3 million, I raise $5 million, it won't go a dime into my pocket. I haven't taken any money for fees.
Yep.
I haven't really earned any money for several months because I've been trying to do something for our country, for freedom, for my fellow citizens. And I haven't been doing it for myself. But now I need the help. So I'll tell you real quick, www.fightback, one word, .law. You can make a contribution. If it's $5, $10, or whatever, it'll help me. It'll add up to an amount that will help me. But I've also said that if you can't do it, I understand. Pray for me. In fact, I said I need your prayers more than I need your money. So that's a vehicle to help, and I think people want to help because they want to do something.
Yep.
And they're sitting at home and they don't know what to do. They see the world around them falling apart. They see their speech threatened.
Yep.
They see their jobs threatened. They see their families threatened. They don't know individually what they can do. This gives them a chance to get some skin in the game. And if they help me, I promise you, I'll be there to always help them.
I'll tell you, folks, if you're out there today, I'm going to call this the weight loss challenge here. James, you know this. A lot of wonderful clients I work with are always telling me they're trying to lose some weight.
Okay.
And, you know, one of the ways we lose weight is we reduce the number of calories we consume. So what do we spend?
The regrettable burrito, right? Isn't that what
well, a lot of us are buying a regrettable burrito at the gas station.
That's
a lot
hard
of
to
us
say,
are
by the way.
buying things that we don't need. So, folks, if you just want to take a day tomorrow and say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to reduce my caloric intake. I'm not going to spend the $20 I shouldn't have spent anyway at the convenience stores on random food that's not healthy. I encourage everybody out there, please find a way to donate $20 to fightback.law, $20 to fightback.law. Lynn, thank you so much for not backing down and for actually doubling down, my friend. You are a great American, and we appreciate you so much.
Well, your words are kind, and your words inspire me, and I appreciate them greatly. And I will say this. God created me, and he didn't create a quitter. I'll never quit. I will not go quietly in the night. If they're going to take me down, they're going to have to take me down. I don't believe that God is going to let that happen. But only God knows the future.
Amen.
But I pray for him to give me strength, and I pray for him to give this country protection so that every lie can be revealed. Last thing I'll say, Clay.
Yeah.
When you say, why are you doing this, Lynn? Well, let me give you a hypothetical. Lawyers like to talk about hypotheticals. I can't envision leaving this earth and staring at the face of God and having him look at me and say, Lynn, you knew the truth. Why didn't you expose it? I'm not going to take that chance. I'm going to expose it.
Lynn, thank you so much for putting your life on pause to fight for people you don't know. You're an inspiration to many. It's always an honor having you here with these Fireside Chats, and hope you have a great rest of your day, sir.
Thank you, and God bless you, Clay, and God bless your listeners.
Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to receive the 100% effective COVID-19 treatments and therapies that were developed by Dr. Richard Bartlett. Dr. Richard Bartlett is a former top medical advisor for the governor of Texas, for Governor Perry, for 7 consecutive years. And his protocol, his COVID-19 protocol, has been used to treat thousands of people coast to coast who had COVID-19 with 0 fatalities. The treatment calls for budesonide, or the generic version of the FDA-approved asthma medication is called Pulmicort. But if you want to receive those protocols, if you want to see Vice President Pence receive some sort of strange coin after certifying a fraudulent election and then elbow bumping Nancy Pelosi, if you want to see Sidney Powell's 100% irrefutable 270-page report documenting election fraud, if you want to watch the Bush family, the Obama family, the Pence family, and the Biden family react to opening the envelopes, those envelopes you've probably heard about at the President George H.W. Bush funeral, if you want to see that, all you have to do is fire off a text message right now to 918-851-6920. That's 918-851-6920. Or you can shoot an email to theclayclark@protonmail.com. theclayclark@protonmail.com. And you might be saying, well, why are you giving out your information? Why are you doing this? Well, it's because the truth is going to set us free. It's going to set you free, set me free, set us all free. But if you don't ever see the truth, it's going to be hard for you to wake up your family and friends. And so we're going to send this all to you right now. And all you have to do is simply fire off a text to 918-851-6920. And you may be asking, well, what can you do to help? So many people ask me, Clay, what can I do? Well, what you can do is you can share this show with 7 people. Why 7? I mean, you could share it with 75 people or 85 people, but share it with at least 7 people. Text it to them. Email it to them. Texting, by the way, is super effective. Just text the show notes. Text this show to your friends and family because we've got to get the truth out there. And if you feel so compelled or so inclined or you have the financial resources to do so, I encourage you to make a small donation, to make at least a small donation to Lynn Wood to help him fight back as he fights against those who wish to take our American First Amendment rights from us, our rights to freely speak the truth. There's just very few people that are willing to step up right now to fight for the American freedoms that you and I have grown up with. And so you can go to fightback.law.com to make a donation to support Lynn Wood. And until next time, God bless America and God bless you.